What's the craziest lie you kept up in high school? I convinced my entire school I was British for 2 years just to win a $100 bet. It started in sophomore English when we were reading Shakespeare, and Emma Rodriguez, the smartest girl in our grade, was sitting behind me complaining about how fake all the British accents in our class sounded. I bet nobody could pull off a convincing accent for more than a week, she said loud enough for everyone to hear. I spun around in my chair. Want to bet? She laughed. You? Please? You sound totally American. $100 says I can fool this entire school into thinking I'm British until graduation, I shot back. The whole class went quiet. You're on, she said, shaking my hand. But when you inevitably get caught, you owe me double plus you have to ask Sarah Chen to prom. That night, I went full research mode. I watched every British show I could find. Sherlock, Doctor Who, even old Monty Python episodes. I studied different accents, settling on posh London because it seemed easiest to fake consistently. I practiced until my throat hurt, recording myself over and over until it sounded natural. By Monday morning, I was ready for my debut. I walked into first period and sat down next to my buddy Marcus. All right, mate, I said casually, opening my textbook. Marcus stared at me like I'd grown a second head. Dude, what's wrong with your voice? Nothing's wrong, I replied, keeping the accent steady. Just stopped hiding my real accent, didn't I? By lunch, word had spread that Thomas Patterson was actually from England. Teachers started asking about my background. I spun this whole story about moving from London when I was 12, how I'd been trying to fit in by hiding my accent, but decided to finally embrace my identity. Mrs. Henderson, my history teacher, was absolutely thrilled and started giving me extra credit assignments about British culture. The hardest part was staying consistent every single day. I had to remember to say lift instead of elevator, jumper instead of sweater, and brilliant for everything good. I downloaded British news apps to pick up current references, and even changed my phone's voice settings to British English. My parents thought I'd lost my mind. I explained the bet and begged them not to blow my cover. Dad found it hilarious and called me Lord Patterson. The school bought it completely. During career day, they asked me to represent international students. I joined drama club because they needed an authentic accent for Oliver Twist. I got the lead role. Emma kept testing me, asking about London neighborhoods and British celebrities. I passed every test because I'd become obsessed with the lie. The closest call was during a video chat with my Ohio grandma in study hall. Emma walked by as grandma said, "Tommy, why are you talking funny?" I quickly said, "Oh, Nan, you know how I talk different at American school." Emma raised an eyebrow but kept walking. By senior year, I was the British kid. I spoke at international night and gave tours to UK visitors. Teachers asked about British history. I felt terrible, but was too deep to quit. My perfect moment came at graduation rehearsal. Principal Williams introduced me as Thomas Patterson, who brought international flavor from London, England. Emma watched with a smug look, thinking I'd have to keep the accent forever. I stepped up to the mic. "Actually," I said, dropping to my Ohio accent, "I'm from Columbus, born and raised." Dead silence. Principal Williams looked shocked. Emma's jaw dropped. I pulled out a $100 bill. "Emma owes me this for a sophomore bet. I've been practicing British accent for 2 years." Half the crowd laughed. The other half looked betrayed. Mrs. Henderson looked personally offended. The aftermath was wild. Some thought it was hilarious. Others felt deceived. The drama teacher was impressed and offered recommendation letters. Emma was mad for a week, then admitted she was impressed. She paid up and we ended up dating senior year. The principal made me apologize to British students I'd given tours to. 3 teachers still use British pronunciation for my name. My yearbook quote was "bloody brilliant, mate."